That's the start of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Nice little burp right there.
That's great. You want to redo that?
No, we're gonna keep this one on.
Burp like that again. It'll be bigger, but
Come on, you can do it.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this all right whenever you guys are ready.
so what?
Are we playing the song?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6th episode of the Central Texas Music Experience with Jon Schappell and featuring Justin Bravo on guitar here. Take it away.
This is Seth James tune. Lord, pick me up, dust me up. Well, I've been running, but now I'm lost. Well, I don't want to be with this misery. Make it go. Get me right, make me strong. Let it out. It's been too long. Well, I don't want to be with this misery. Make it go. Take it out to the edge and let it fall. Give it back, I need it now more than before. If there is a way, my Lord, please would you show me? Prayer for the lonely. I can't believe, I can't forget. The hardest part hasn't started yet. Well, I don't want to be with this misery. Make it go. Take it out to the edge, let it fall. Give it back, I need it now more than before. If there is a way, my Lord, please would you show me? Prayer for the lonely. Prayer for the lonely. Take it out to the edge and let it fall. Give it back, I need it now more than before. If there is a way, my Lord, please would you show me? Prayer for the lonely. Prayer for the lonely. Prayer for the lonely.
Oh yeah, that was good. Hey, we cannot beat an intro like that with our special guest Jon Schappell over here. Apparently, I forgot to unmute my mic just now, so I just screwed that one up. We're so disorganized in this episode 6 of this podcast, but it's okay because
It's all good like that.
Yeah, it's all good. Like I said, I've done stop the recording twice already, so, but I fixed it. Don't worry, I'm quick to record. Yeah. So how's it going, John? How you doing?
Super, man. Glad to be here. Thanks so much. Chicken fried steak, so good. Cornbread, mashed potatoes. Oh, baby. Yeah.
It's definitely like room service around here. I tell you that.
I'm digging it.
Let me see which I don't know which mic you're on. Go ahead and talk real quick. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you already.
Looks like that. This is the way of the camera.
Yeah, we're all good.
Got my good side, right? All right.
Oh yeah. Most definitely. Let me rotate it a little bit. Hold on.
You'll edit this out, right?
Which way you need to go?
There we go. Snap.
Negative. There is no editing involved at all. I don't care because this is large and charged. We're live, and this is a Central Texas music experience. We're sponsored by fucking nobody, but we're working on trying to get Lone Star to sponsor us, and I'm pretty sure you guys are tired of listening to that every single podcast. But I don't give a shit because, yeah, come on. You know, I got to take responsibility because I drunk tweeted Lone Star Sunday night, and John was out at Joker's Ice House, and Justin Bravo, who was just playing on the guitar and singing, had a great time out there. It's a nice crowd out there, a lot of our musician friends, and you guys got to make it out on Sunday nights for Mylan English's open mic. See, I almost burped too. See, I think this is contagious.
Every Sunday, Joker's open mic.
And you will be there, right?
Usually
Yeah.
am.
Yeah, and as well at All Bottoms Up on Wednesdays with Justin Bravo's open mic. And, well, I'm glad that you're here. So let's fire off with some questions if you don't mind.
Shoot. Let's get it on.
Alrighty. Usually what I like to do is I like to talk about musical influences, if you don't mind. And I bow to the almighty harp. So I think everybody out there should bow to the almighty harp. And
I don't know, man. There's a lot of harp haters out there.
no.
I play with one all the time. It's like, take the harmonica out of the monitor completely. I'm like, ow, dude. Jeez. I don't need it. I'm not, all right.
Jon Schappell. That's an ode and salute to Justin Bravo over here. But okay, let's talk about it. What got you into actually playing the harmonica? Actually,
I can't really say. I think my first harmonica was like when I was 4 or 5, and it was shaped like a banana, a yellow banana, and it was badass. It was actually a good harp for a first timer. But shoot, I've always played it. I've always played since I can remember. And the thing is, though, I didn't really come out and play in front of people or with anybody until about 2.5 years ago. And you know, you can kind of thank 2 ex-wives and a best friend that didn't encourage it. You know, so kind of held me back. What the hell, you know.
so you're like and also from what I understand, you're also a guitar aficionado, if you will. I get a lot of people saying, "Oh man, John does great work." What got you into doing that?
Necessity, you know. I think first thing I didn't play guitar till about 93, and I had a tuning machine break, and I went to the guitar store, Halsey Music, that used to be here, and which I ended up working there, and but I bought tuning machines, and they were like a ridiculous amount of money for them to put them on. And I got them home, and of course they were pings, and I had a PV Strat copy, and I ended up taking my mom's steak knife and making the holes larger. You know, I had to modify the guitar a little so the tuning machines would fit, and that was really the start of me tinkering with anything. And then later I went and worked at Halsey Music and dabbled in it, and it's always been because of working on my own stuff. I'm not afraid to, and
You're not afraid to get in there and get your hands dirty, yeah.
And I'm getting better at it. You know, I've seen some soldering I did when I started at Guitar Center, and it's like, oof, good God, like an eagle shit silver right there or something on that pot. You know, I'm getting better, more strategic, and
So, musical influences. Let's get into that a little bit. What was your favorite songs growing up? What actually got you involved in music? Because from what I understand, you have a radio past, and get into that a little bit later on in the podcast. But what were the songs of your youth or even today that really got you wanting to pursue, I wouldn't say a musical career, but the love and the passion for music?
Well, I'd have to say, early on, probably hearing the Rolling Stones. Well, actually, I really started listening to a radio. It was back when all you had was AM, and a lot of what you would find that I wanted to listen to was Motown kind of stuff, and a lot of funk and stuff like that. And then later, I guess in the early 70s, FM became popular, and I happened to be living in El Paso, where there was album-oriented rock, and it was Rolling Stones and the Who and Led Zeppelin, and I attribute all that to a lot of my hearing loss. So,
So, did you ever go to any shows when you were, when you were younger? I mean, what can you pull up a memory from?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about what it was like back in those days going to a show.
Shoot, let's see. I could tell a good story on a friend. He's dead now, but it's funny still. We went and saw. It was Blue Oyster Cult and Bob Seger, and when Blue Oyster Cult was playing. You know how they always have like a fence in front of the stage and there's like a 5 or 8 foot gap there?
Right.
We were standing in that gap and we're leaning on the stage and we're little potheads. And my friend was trying to get the saxophone player to take a puff off a joint or something. We're talking like 1977, 76 or something like that. And of course, the saxophone player can't do that. He'll dry up his mouth. He can't play. He'll get seeds in his mouth. Whatever, He's playing. He can't do that. And but at the end of the show, the sax player came out and he's banging on this cowbell. And Kurt and I are right up front, dead center, leaning on the stage. And the cowbell, he's banging on it. He takes that drumstick and hits Kurt right in the head. And I like, oh, a drumstick. And I grabbed it, and I grabbed like a fistful of Kurt's hair and yanked it out, and it was pretty wild. Yeah, Kurt was a dick. So.
And this was all under the influence, huh?
Well, yeah.
Most of the
70s,
60s and 70s is primarily most of the,
Back then, yeah. I grew up on the border, more or less, and lots of good things come from the other side of that river, so, yeah, it's fun.
Well, we can talk about that, too, We can talk a little bit about that.
Back in the day.
So, what is the difference that you see now from shows then and concerts now? For example,
the pot's a lot better. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Gosh, I think I don't know. It seems like stuff's more corporate. If you go to like a Ozfest or any big deal at like an amphitheater, there's people out on the outskirts, selling. I went to a John Mayer show and Kotex had a little podium out there. They were giving stuff away or it's just gone so corporate that it's as a musician, it's like that's like another planet, to have stuff like that around you. I would imagine, but
you feel like the nature of the business now takes away from the musicality of everything, since a lot of the focus has
Nickelback.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, besides that, I mean, if you look at okay, with the exception of Nickelback,
right.
Like you said, John Mayer, despite seeing the corporate kind of take over the industry, with musicians today. Do you see some of that? Like, do you look at a musician today and be like, okay, that is what Led Zeppelin was when I was growing up? Or do you see that now?
I did one time. I seen Robert Plant and Jimmy Page back in like '93. I missed that Led Zeppelin and all that. But with the energy and power that came off that stage, as soon as they started playing their first 2 or 3 notes, it was like, holy crap. It was just a wave of energy and a wall sound hitting you. And I didn't see that again until probably 8 years later. I took my son to see Godsmack down in the Austin Music Hall, and same thing. Godsmack kicked ass. You know, I don't think I've owned but one of their CDs, and you know, that was two special bands, I guess. You know, they could pull that kind of show off.
Yeah, there's something to be said about, you know, there's a lot of bands out here that, well, not just locally, I'm talking about nationwide, all over the world, that, okay, you can put out some great albums, whatever. I mean, great to a certain standard, depends on who you're talking to. But, you know, you know, the stage presence, getting audience participation, being able to put a certain energy out there is very, very hard to come by.
Yeah.
There's only certain special people, certain special bands, certain special musicians that can actually pull it off and like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a big name, for example, like Jay-Z or whoever,
Right.
you know, you'll go to the show, maybe. You know, it just depends on your taste in music. And you might come back and like, man, I felt, you know, ripped off a little bit, you know, because there's so much glamour involved in the shows now. Whereas now, like in this scene right here, let me tell you something, folks. If you go out to a show, for example, the Red Dirt Ramblers, we have Justin Bravo in the house. I'm gonna plug him up. If you go out to a show, their stage presence, the music is there. You're gonna see Jon out there, you know, playing the harp and having a good time. And you don't see a lot of bands out there that do that anymore, you know, because of, you know, they glamorize it so much. You know, they've got lights over here and they've got, you know, backup dancers and, you know, most of them are lip syncing. Most of them can't even play, you know.
Right.
They can't even play.
Yeah.
You know. And so I like this scene because it feels like a lot of the musicians now are kind of, they've grown up on the shitty side of music.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I recognize this shitty side of music. Okay, so now let's go back to where music kind of started, which is the individual singer, songwriter, bands coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. You know,
you know what, and that's what makes this area special. I mean, it's between Dallas and San Antonio. You've got what they call the I-35 corridor syndrome, where you know, nobody's heard of Alan Haynes, who's an amazing blues guitar player from Austin. I think he was originally, might have been from Houston, I'm not sure, but he's incredible, and he's, you know, in the blues circuit, people know the name, and you know, you could catch him playing, you know, a free show down there probably once a week at some certain, you know, bar. At least it was years ago. But he just the new Easy Rider movie's coming out, and Alan Haynes, his band is in the movie playing.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Cool
that.
stuff.
I didn't even know that they're doing a remake.
They did it. Yeah.
They did
it's
it.
done.
See, I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm
But,
gonna look out for it.
But there's a circuit, you know, where if you're like, there's Monty Montgomery, there's and I wouldn't even put Whiskey Myers and them in that, or even the Departed. They're pretty much national, I'd imagine. But
Or regional, maybe a little bit beyond regional.
They're still considered regional, but they do national. I mean, they're touring all over the U.S.
Yeah.
I see
They're
them
still
doing it.
considered a regional act, though.
But you know, there's incredible people all over Texas that you know, Storyville, you know, was an incredible band. It lasted maybe 3 or 4 years, and they might do a one-time show or something. But they've got incredible players, you know, Grissom and Holt and Malford Milligan singing, and Tommy Shannon and Chris Layton from Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yet, you know, somehow that band wasn't supported enough, I guess. I don't know why it, you know.
So musically, you've been around the block, you know, musically. So let's talk about some radio days. If you
Oh,
don't.
jeez.
And pretty sure you got some stories there. How did you get into radio?
I kept winning shit on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I'd call up and win something every day or every week, and you know, concert tickets and junk and pizzas. And I won something one day, and Chris Cummings was the boss there at the time, and he goes, "Why don't you just come down and do a shift?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "midnight to 6. You don't even have to talk." And I said, "Yeah, sure." And at the time, I was working at a Sherwin-Williams paint store, and I was busting my butt every day, lifting, tons of paint and tile, and it's like, so going up there into this air-conditioned, control room and sitting there playing CDs all night was a blast. And my first night, I think it was around 2:30 in the morning, I think I introduced Eric Clapton song, and man, it was crazy because that on button for that mic was like electrified, man. It's like it was scary, but once I did it, you couldn't shut me up, Although I didn't really talk a lot all the time, I just it became natural where the song is like 12 seconds to end, and I'm saying to myself, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna say, and then the song ends, and I power up and I start yakking, and it was fun. It was a blast. A lot of the stuff, the crazy stories with radio probably didn't happen on the air, although...
Let's talk about the off-air stuff.
Oh, man. Oh. One of my friends, I don't know if I should name him, but he was driving the van. That van saw so much horror stories, man, it wasn't even funny.
Like a shaggin' wagon kind of?
Yeah, pretty much, with big-ass speakers and craziness. But he said, yeah, I ran off the road, such and such. It was like down on W.S. Young, and I drove by there the next day, and I looked, and up on the slope to the, on the west side of the intersection there, going west, you could see these tracks in the grass just going all squirrely, crazy, drunk, and it was just hilarious to see it after what he, how he did. Okay, maybe you had to be there, but...
Well, we've talked, off camera, off microphone, whatever, several times about talking about your experiences and stuff like that. And what are you listening to? I know you mentioned Godsmack earlier.
Yeah.
What are you listening to right now that's, kind of like gauges your interest right now and keeps you engaged in the music?
I just pulled a stack I cleaned up in my room, and I found a stack of CDs. And in that stack that I'm ready to put in my truck, there's Robert Johnson, some Who, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin. There's like 4 Led Zeppelin in there. Of course, the Dred Zeppelin's going to stay in there. And of course, always got my buddy Wes Jeans. He's from Marshall, Texas.
Yeah, we got that on camera.
That's cool. And,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did some doing some research and stuff like that. Of course, you play with the Ramblers a lot, and you show up to the open mics. What other bands have you played with? Other musicians in the area that you jammed with, or?
Gosh, I guess it really started at the old Joker's open mic, and with Mylan English from 7 Years Today. That's a lot of fun. I've jammed with his band 7 Years Today a couple times. Just sit in for a song or two, whatever. It's a good time. But other folks, just this last Saturday, I popped out at Joker's, and Pride and Joy was up there, and I've watched them for 10 years or so, and I think they're a great blues band, rocking, badass guitar. Chris is amazing. All 3 of them are. It's father and 2 sons. Mm-hmm. And I got up. I asked him, "Hey, I brought my harp. I'll play a little." He goes, "All right." He got me up there for one song and kept me there for another. So it was a good time. It's big difference what I do with Justin Bravo and what I do with blues. It's just a different outlet for me, I guess.
Well, I noticed that when you play, and you may have played a song like 100 times, and you always have a different variation every single time. Is that done on purpose, or?
It's probably.
Do you like to be a spur of the moment kind of spontaneous musician?
Yeah. I blow totally with a lot of feeling. It's. I think the first time my sister, who lives in California, hi Joy, sorry about the pot mention and all that, but first time she heard me play something, it was a blues thing, and I said, "What'd you think?" She goes, "Well, when you play, I heard pain." I'm like, "Well, it's the blues, man, yeah."
Yeah.
So, and I've probably got a little pain. Everybody's got
Because, excuse me, I burped myself.
Yeah.
I don't really hear a lot of, harp, harmonica, and I see that you carry a case with you all the time. You got your mic and you got different variations. So, can you educate our audience on, every time I see, a song change or a set change, or in the middle of a song, you'll go ahead and switch out your harmonica. What is that about? Is that different tonalities?
Keys. There's all different keys. I got A through G, and then I've got in the box there like 4 sharps. So I'm prepared for about anything. So
I'm sorry, I got summoned for a beer.
hey.
So are you going to be playing? I'm going to plug a couple dates here for the Red Dirt Ramblers, if you don't mind, and I believe you're going to be at most of these dates, if I'm correct.
So far, I know I'm doing the Saturday Millers.
Okay, that's the 3rd, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You guys, Jon Schappell is a great harmonica player, and he's got a lot of energy, and he's a fun guy to be around, and he's funny. I mean, you can catch him in those moments. He's hilarious.
Yeah, don't let this face fool you, because if I'm like not smiling, I look like I have a death mask on or something. But believe me, there's a circus going on up in here. All right,
I mean, we've hung out a few times, going up to Spicewood and New Braunfels and
Great Outdoors. Yeah.
Thank Justin Bravo for that one.
I'll tell you what, man. Hanging with Justin is such a blast. I have to thank him every time we go out of town, do something. The itinerary always has something fun and, something I wouldn't probably do at 52 years old,
Yeah.
And like camping, just on the spur of the moment, really. It was like, how are you getting down there? Well, everybody's camping. It's like, well, it looks like I better dig out the tent, and I'm in.
Yeah, when we got the Spicewood call, when Ashley was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to Spicewood," I'm like, "Oh crap, we don't have no tents, we don't have a cooler, we don't have chairs." So went to Target and was like, "Okay, let's go spend some money." And hey, it's proven to be beneficial thus far. So.
Well, what was cool for me is to hear being down there, Justin telling the story how his dad used to live in that park, back in the '60s and all, and that was. It was cool to be there with somebody who had family roots to that area. And
Father's Day.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that was okay. So you're with the Red Dirt Ramblers.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about some things that have happened on the road with the Red Dirt Ramblers. Because I've heard some funny stories. Especially one referring to a particular Willie Nelson impersonator.
Oh man! All right.
He's a nice guy, but this story is hilarious. And I told the story. I would let you tell this story when you came on the podcast.
All right. Gosh. All right. Let's see. We go down there. It was myself, Justin, and his girlfriend Nisha, and. Milo and Memo and there's a bunch of us and our friend Marvin Parks, and Marvin is 61, 62 now, and he doesn't drink a lot. Let's just say he doesn't have to drink a lot, but when he does, you end up babysitting, and we got down there and we went to a bar to see Midnight River Choir. Plug the Guadalupe Pirates, my buds there, yeah. But anyway, went to see Midnight River Choir, and Marvin was there, and we lost him. And Memo goes into the restroom, and he goes, "I just found him. He was standing at the urinal asleep." And anyway, we took him home. He ended up getting kicked out of the bar. We get back there, and it's like 2 a.m. And then Stormy and his girlfriend and Jake Marlin show up, and we're all on. I'm on the sofa, and I'm brain farting here. Let's see. Stormy and his girl are next to me, and then Jake and Marvin are way over by the back door in the living room. And finally, it's like 3:30, 4 in the morning, and it gets quiet. And next thing I know, I'm hearing something shuffling around, murmuring and stuff. And I'm listening, and I hear splattering. And Stormy says, "Hey, Marvin, you're peeing in the kitchen." And Marvin's like, "No, I'm not. I'm outside. It's okay." You know? And I jump up like, "Hey!" I knew my stuff was over where it was at. And I go there, and sure enough, I turn the kitchen light on, and my harmonica case was closed.
Thank
God.
God.
He had peed on my harmonica case. He peed on Jake Marlin's sleeping bag and his backpack. And gosh,
now,
what do you do?
And now I'm led to understand there was a certain payback involved.
Oh yes, there was payback. The next weekend, Red Dirt Ramblers played out at Dave's Sports Bar out in Coppers Cove, and Marvin's out there, and he brings his guitar and a tambourine, and he leaves without it. And Justin looks over at me and goes, "John, you live near him. Take his guitar and tambourine." I'm like, "Hell no! Oh yeah, hey, I'll take it." So that next morning, Sunday morning, I go down to the ghetto HEB, and I find that the sardines only cost like 69 cents a can. And I took it home, and I opened up his guitar case, and I took a good thick chunk of half of a sardine and tried to spread the strings. It kind of smushed through them and fell inside, and I shook it around a little because it was all oily, and I closed up the case, and I left it in there I started feeling guilty, you know. It was in there for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, this ain't right, man. And so I took it outside and started shaking it, and of course that made all the sardines kind of break up into little tiny chunks to get out. And
yeah.
So if you ever get a chance, stick your nose in Marvin's guitar.
And you know the funny thing is, it was one Wednesday night at Justin's open mic at All Bottoms Up, and after you told me that story, I actually took a sniff. I am not even lying. I did took a sniff. After you told me that story, I took a sniff, and I was like, okay, he has no fucking clue.
No.
What the? Okay, I doubt Marvin's gonna listen to this podcast and or watch it.
You don't have much attention span.
Yeah. So this is that's good. So you got any other stories on the road, or maybe you want to save them? You guys want to play another song, or
some aren't for public consumption, but let's just say.
You always have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last time we were down there, we went and saw John Evans' band. What a night! That was something else. From outside, it was great.
Were we out? Were me and Ashley out there with you guys?
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
our guardians. Our
caretakers. Okay. You know what's interesting to me is going out with you guys is having Marcus out there with us. Yeah. He's like the survivor man, the second coming, you know. Who Les Stroud, who I was talking to on Sunday, who is another good harmonica player. If you didn't know that, if you ever watched the show Survivor Man, he's always in the wilderness, you know, and he brings out the harmonica, to break up the monotony of being by himself. But Marcus is a wild man.
Yeah,
he's like the pure
nature boy.
Yeah, like hippie to the gypsy to the next level.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, he'll walk forever.
So when he
Marcus Barrios is our bass player for the Red Dirt Ramblers. Yeah,
and he's very eclectic. He's got a certain.
Well, the dude's brilliant, man. He's very smart.
Yeah,
he's very educated. Yeah.
So
he's sharp.
What is it like? I know on the our 4th episode we had Justin out, and we were talking about different variations of the Red Dirt Ramblers. And the reason why I want to focus on them so much is because that's who you're with now. And I know if you, like you said, you played with other people, but how is it like dealing with the different changes that are going on right now?
It's still going on. It's cool because I've played with 2 different guitar players since Milo left, and I played a lot of without a lead guitar player, where there's nights where I was doing all the leads, and I really enjoyed doing it all myself, but at the same time, it's a huge relief and also so enjoyable to play with folks like Michael Cano and Reese Lyles, and I'd love to just kick back and watch Reese go, man. He's just incredible.
I mean, you guys were that night. What was it? Friday night?
Yeah.
Friday. You guys played at Joker's Ice House.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bike night Thursday.
Okay. Oh man, you guys were on point with Chris Kelly and Reese Lyles and the two of you guys and Marcus. And I was like, man, that's the fucking Red Dirt Ramblers right there. I was blown away. And then on top of that, you know, with Memo and the sound and everything, it was just like it was real nice. And I was just like, man, this is the band right here. But of course, you know, Justin's the boss and the fan and the fans, you know, the band. We're just gonna be quiet and wait to see what happens. But
it's all good.
But it's got to be it's something like, you know, when you have a great lead, like you were talking about, the pressure comes off of you, but it also gives you more room to do like you know, counter melodies,
right?
You know, things like that where you guys complement each other. And you and Reese, you guys have great chemistry.
Yeah,
you know,
he's great to play with.
Justin, I mean, Justin's got great chemistry with pretty much everybody he plays with. For the, you know, from what I see, you know, on the stage, and it's like, you know, he'll turn around, okay, we're gonna do this, and then it's just on point. You know what I'm saying? And you know, from what I understand, you guys don't really practice that often.
Not lately.
But
not since I've been in the band.
But you know what though?
That's what open mics really are for me at least. It's always polishing up my chops, man. And
I mean, what is it like playing for an hour and a half, 2 hours? I mean, you're just blowing your chops out. I mean, that's got to be real tiring.
It's fun. It's fun. You know, to me, you know, I was playing with the Red Dirt Ramblers, I don't know, months and if not longer, and for nothing, because I just love doing it. And you know, it's and it'll never, at least playing with him, it'll never become a job. I played with other folks and tried to carry what was going on more, and that was laborious. You know, it was hard. Playing with Justin and the Red Dirt Ramblers is just a breeze. It's free. Yeah, like, you know, it's easy to do. Yeah, and I did it for free forever. And so some nights when I see how much I make, it's like, I did it for free a long time. You know, this is cool.
Yeah, just show up, be there, make sure you bring your case, and then there you're good to go.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, personally myself, I couldn't imagine being up there for 2 hours.
You played bongos with us once.
Well, what I mean is, it's different.
For an hour and a half
straight. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's different because it's the hands versus the lungs. You know, I played a woodwind instrument, you know, for, you know, 7 years.
So did I. I started off a few years on clarinet, and then I moved to alto sax, and I played that for like 8 years.
I got an alto sax in the back over there.
Kidding.
Yeah, that's my old alto. I played the tenor, and then I switched over my senior year to sousaphone.
Well, you should have picked up on what I was doing. A lot of my solos are like sax solos, what I would have done on that. So.
Well, you know, like I get to what I like about doing the podcast is, you know, bringing you guys out here and you know, we kind of get in depth and talk about, you know, funny shit, talk about technical shit, and so, you know, from what I'm gathering here, you guys are going to be at Miller's Smokehouse in Belton, Texas on August the 3rd, correct? And I don't know if you want me to No? Okay. And Dead Fish as well on August the 16th?
Dead Fish, yeah. And
Pooties, oh yeah, and Spicewood. Are you guys going to go camping again?
It's a little hot right now.
Oh, come on, man. You guys were under the trees and... come on.
Seen how quick we all got out of there that next day.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we were melting out there. But it was still
not
nice.
so hot sleeping, but the next day when you get up, it's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when...
We may camp.
Twist my arm, I'll camp out.
Hey,
It's a couple weeks from now, so you never know.
Hey, I mean, when we were all out there, I mean, we were just like, you know, drinking, so, you know, talking about random shit and listening to music and stuff, and it just, you know, of course you're going to wake up hot. That core temperature gets put up without alcohol in the system.
Boy, but that water was so fun, man. Those little fish biting you in the water.
Oh, a fish bit my nipple, man. Right on my nipple. It was on it. Yeah. So, do you guys want to play another song, or do you want to talk some more? I guess you let us say it, so we'll just talk a little bit more.
Let's play it.
Want to
Let's
play?
do something.
All right, yeah, let's play another song and
Let's do that Whiskey Myers thing. What do you think?
gonna let Justin Doc up here. Really great having you guys out.
Always a pleasure. Couple of pretty flowers is what I brought to you, and I saw you through a broken window, a different point of view. You had signs of depression from a long line of sin, and your face it tells a story. The places you have been, I love so. Thought that you should know when that muddy water's flowing, as you take my hand past the creek down by the holler, through your daddy's land. Well, I can buy you a diamond, but I cannot change the world. I ain't got no money, never be my girl. I thought that you should know. You was gonna be a singer or a big movie star, but you can't catch no breaks, baby. And Hollywood is hard, so now you work down at the dollhouse off of 195, and you're dancing for your dollar, trying to stay alive. It hurts me so. Thought that you should know. When you feed your addiction with your crystal meth, and I plead for your life as it takes you to your death. You made your deal with the devil as your looks began to fade, and I saw you laughing through the tears as you slowly slipped away. I watched you go. I thought that you should know.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Great, I love that song, especially when you guys knock it out.
Cool. That's fun.
You know what's always fun is when Justin pulls his harmonica out, doing the intro, and both of you guys are going together.
Yeah, there's been some open mics last winter, I think, where, holy crap, 2 harps on that, when we get into it, is a lot of fun. We'll leave that to open mic, though.
Oh, okay. So,
what you missing, man?
No, not. So, well, I guess I forgot my next question. I forgot. I usually have my questions formatted and written down, and I pretty much got, for everybody that comes out. But, you're a different type of guest, different type of interview, because you are from what I gather, a fan first and foremost.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of like a jack of all trades, from what I understand. And
what I did? You know what I did that changed my life a lot, and it was when I was working at that paint store, and it was before I got the job at the radio station. I was hurting my elbow, my back, from all this heavy, hard work. I said, the next job I get is going to be doing something I love, and then I got the job at the radio station. It was part-time. But, and after that I did, we had a hockey team here, the Central Texas Stampede. I opened up an office for ticket sales and stuff like that and advertising. And I kicked butt in that because it was something I dug. It was, my son and I really got into the hockey thing. And I played hockey as a kid. I was an Army brat. I lived in Alaska, and it was right in the backyard, man. And, but after that, while I was working at the Stampede, I met Tim Hopkins, who's a bass player for One Fine Burrito, and he told me that there was an opening at Halsey Music, and I was there like 2 days, and I became assistant manager, and I was there for like three and a half years, and I loved it, and still doing radio the whole time too. I was at 107.3 The Fox Rocks for like 9 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the radio voice right there.
And, that doing radio taught me a lot. I had an amazing boss, Bob Fonda, who just passed away a couple months ago, that incredible mentor, not only, doing a job, but really in life, and to his, very near last days, he never stopped teaching me, and about how to let things go and, stuff like that. But great guy. And, he was more than that. When I worked at radio, they were more of a family, and it was cool.
So you're not working at Guitar Center now. So what was the difference of, between working at Halsey and Guitar Center?
Halsey Music, I had a boss there who will go nameless that he was a Christian, but he was a real hypocrite, and he would he kind of dissuaded people. If we didn't have it, it would take a month to get it, and he dissuaded people a lot. You didn't get the customer service and care that you do now at like Guitar Center. If you want it, it's like, days away if you want to pay for shipping faster. So, he was kind of, it's a lot cooler at Guitar Center, I'll say that.
I know that whenever I walk into Guitar Center, I'm like, okay, there's Kirk Baxley over there, there's Jon Schappell over there, and I'm like,
Milo.
Yeah, and I'm like, is this all the local musicians? I'm like, how many times am I going to see you guys in a week? It's like, but it's always fun walking in there and, different environment and getting to talk to you guys. And
well, it's funny to find out who all's worked there. I think John Reynolds did a stint there. There's a ton of people who've gone through those doors there, It's been 6 years here now, so.
Am I ever going to see you pick up a guitar and sing something at an open mic or anything?
Oh, it's bad when I do, so I don't do it often. Justin laughs at me when I sing. I don't know what it is, because I start off too low and I ended up too high, and he's laughing because I'm over there doing the old alfalfa thing. He's cracking up. He gets a kick out of it. I do more singing and playing on my back porch than I'll ever do in front of anybody.
I
So,
would like to see that sometime. Maybe just one song.
well,
Maybe one
you
song.
need to come to my porch. I did try Friday night. I went and played at Boondocks with my friend Rick Daniel Hall. He's on Facebook. Great musician. He just moved here from Cleveland, and he was a big deal up there. Found it a little tough to establish bandmates here. I went and hung out and played with him at Boondocks last Friday. And what were we talking about?
You playing the guitar?
Oh, I played guitar. I sang a blues song, and I like left the chorus off because nobody was listening, and I was floundering, and you know.
So for now, you're just gonna stick to the harp. Yeah,
I'll noodle around, but you know, it's. I've put on a guitar at an open mic not too long ago, and somebody out in the crowd was yelling, "No, get the harps, put that down." I didn't even play a note. It's like, what the hell, you know?
Because the new people that really don't know you, you know, they're so used to seeing you at the, you know, seeing you with the harp in the hand, and so, man, this is one of those. This is one of those podcasts.
It's double-edged too, because people like, well, you work on guitars all day, but you don't play one. Oh, I play. I'm not in a band playing one. That's all.
Yeah.
But I played some solos along with Rick that night, and it was easy little pentatonic stuff, but it fit perfect, and I didn't screw it up. And it's like, all right.
You're gonna let the beast out of his cage eventually at one point?
Who knows?
Or are you just gonna keep him locked up? We're gonna keep you locked up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let you beast on the.
Yeah, I need to do it at my pace where there's no rhythm much at all.
Jon Schappell. So right now with working with the Red Dirt Ramblers and Justin, you guys are good friends and everything. Where do you see yourself, like a place in the band, and where would you like to see you guys going, as a band in the future?
Well, you never know, man. It's kind of, I could see it two different ways. You know, if a real good guitar player comes in and everything clicks like blood, you know, I could almost see me not being a necessity, you know, at points, you know, where, if it's covered, I could see where I'm not needed. You know, it'd be like the keyboard player, you know, that, you're not this time. You know what I mean? I could see that. It's reality, you know. And at the same time, I wouldn't mind putting something together myself, you know, and place the stuff that I play on my back porch, maybe. You know what I mean?
Have you, really given that serious thought?
Not at all. No.
Just kind of going with the flow for right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I love what I'm doing. Stuff changes all the time. You know, I probably would have gotten into a band in my teens or something. You deal with musicians. It's a funny world, you know.
Yeah, because you got a lot of different.
Not knocking you, Justin, at all. It's in general, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You got multiple. You guys got band mates or band members with multiple personalities, and your politics within the band, or this person got butt hurt by somebody else, and this one got hurt by somebody else, or so I understand what you're talking about as far as
and you know what? And when crap like that goes on, I remember telling him and Milo after I played with them for nothing again, back at Dave's or Joker's or something. I told you, dude, that's the most fun I've ever had in my life, is getting up there playing. I think Robert Plant was quoted saying that he would rather spend 10 minutes as a performer on stage than a lifetime just watching it from the audience or something like that.
10 minutes in the music scene is worth more than a lifetime without it.
Exactly. And even on, in the big picture of musicians and talent and all that, this is, it's a nice place to be. And I'm loving it, man. This town has so many incredible musicians that it's almost like a well-kept secret. It's like it's like Seattle, secret, that all this melting pot of incredible musicians are here. In fact, one night I made mention to a couple guys. I think it was out in Copper's Cove where that camp out thing was, where all the bands played. And it would be cool if we got all the bands together like that once, but everybody covered everybody else's songs. That'd be neat, man. You know, there's enough stuff around here that everybody could do, you know.
Oh yeah, you got so many
else's.
talented people out here. I mean, Justin's a hell of a songwriter. You got Stormy's a hell of a song. I mean,
Incredible.
you guys kind of got that going on now, where
Yeah.
you know you got a couple bands that are singing Stormy's songs.
Everybody else's songs.
Yeah.
That's what we're starting to get into. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean it's like a real testament to the kind of camaraderie that the musicians around here have, you know, and respect for one another. That hey, I respect you, you know. Hey, can I play your shit?
Yeah.
You know, and then I would like to see that too. Justin, that might be something you might want to try to put together.
And I gotta say this since I'm being interviewed, and I'm only one beer into it. But if it weren't for Justin, John Austin, Mylan English, all of them letting me early on when I was starting to, they're the people that I went to and we jammed and we played either at somebody's house or at open mics and or at Billy Bob's, you know, and the critique I would get and the pointers I would get, stuff that even though it took a long time to sink in, a lot of it, these guys were so helpful to me, man. I wouldn't be playing a note if it weren't for Justin and Mylan, John, and you know, it's incredible. These guys, you know, these young shits here changed my life somehow. I probably wouldn't be working at Guitar Center either if it weren't for getting back into the music scene in some way. So.
Yeah, I mean it's always great when you have, you know, guys around you. Like from what I hear from a lot of the people that I've heard or talked to in person or, you know, brought on the podcast, that, you know, you got to have that point of support, like that when you first starting out or you're coming in onto the scene for the first time, especially, you know, it could be anywhere. If you got somebody who's like, you know, critiquing you like you're talking about, or saying, hey, you know, hey, keep on going, keep, like, I see that a lot, you know, with, you know, sometimes a guy will just get up there, play a couple songs, and then he bounces. And then, but you know, what I see around here is you guys get up, you play a few songs, and then you guys commingle with each other and you talk about, oh man, I like that song, or hey, you know, you need to, you know, kind of, you know, do something different, or you need to work on this or work on that. And that criticism is very constructive. You know, that's what makes a difference between, you know, shit guys that are looking out for themselves and real guys that are like, okay, I've been in that situation too. Well, I was there, you know, 5 years ago. I'm gonna help this guy because I see something in him, you know, and that's really something that I appreciate in this area.
Yep.
You know, especially like for me, like doing this podcast and having you guys out, to me, that's like support for me.
Yeah.
You know, and doing this podcast, but this is like an avenue to help, you know, the musicians get out there, and you know, we may joke and bullshit and talk about it, but we all love music.
We have fun, but we nurture each other too.
Yeah.
You know, look at me, man. I didn't play a note in front of anybody ever, and you know, now I play a lot, and like Nick Viz, you know, he's come a long way, and you know, it's other people coming out of the woodwork, man. You know, this place there's a lot of musicians here that we'll probably never even know about because they don't, you know, leave the house. You know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Ashley came out of nowhere for you guys too, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. No, I mean, I wasn't there for that, so I don't know. But you know, when I got introduced to you guys, and just watching and listening to the music, I swear to God, Justin, I swear to God, when I first heard you play Broken Window Serenade, I swear to God, I was like, I thought you wrote that song. I swear to God, I was like, I was telling Ashley, like, hey, did he write that song? She's like, no, it's by Whiskey Myers. And because of you, I'm like, I listen to that song all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's really cool when you hear, you know, the musicians out here that have their own variations on songs, covers, what they love. And then they present it in such a way that's totally different, original, to their own personality.
Like when I rode down to Spicewood with you, and I forget what song it was that came on the radio. It was I Got a Gig or something. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the original? I'm like, I had never heard the original before. I always just jumped in and popping on the harp, you know, but the original is way quieter and sedate.
Oh, are you talking about Uncle Lucius, the keep?
Carlton.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. And
Yeah.
I remember we were listening to Uncle Lucius too.
That
But
too.
I remember
a lot of them I
yeah.
never heard before, you know.
But you know him because of
Right,
you know.
right, and we play it the way we play it, and you know, maybe it's just maybe a pure, or at least on my end, it's how I read it, and that's how I blew the harp on that, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta feel it, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, there's only so much practicing you can do.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, you gotta put some emotion into it too.
Right. Well, you know what, and like if you listen to "Got a Gig," the original, it's real sedate and real strummy, you know. But the way I hear it, it's like, man, we got a gig, baby. You know, it's on, and it's to me, it's a more upbeat party song. It's we got a gig, let's get it on and have fun, and that's the way I play it, for me at least, and you know,
because,
originals be damned.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many times you can hear a certain song in a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, until you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then when you hear it from a different person,
Right.
you know, in a different format or a different emotion, you're like, okay. And it's like having a refresher.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh shit, this is something different.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, like you were talking about, this is how I feel, you know.
Right.
And
yeah, I kind of, came to the conclusion that I'll listen to the original once, and I don't want it to screw me up, you know. And it did a little, and then it having these new guitar players, you know, like Reese come in and hear what I'm doing. He's like, what the hell? Oh, well, all right, you know. It inspires others too, I guess, at times. But I love playing with Reese. Every time we play together, we're establishing each other's areas better, you know. And what was kind of cumbersome for me was because for a month or so before Reese came on, I was like, it was usually just me playing, whether it was doing acoustic or whatever. So having a guitar player come in, it was like, there's an extra piece of furniture I need to respect, you know, and I have to keep reminding me, lead guitar player, harmonica, you know, and which is easy to do because he's an amazing guitar player, and I love it, man. I love it.
Played like Garth Brooks and like.
Yeah, he played with Garth Brooks and a couple other.
See,
folks.
I didn't know that.
Ty England.
I'm gonna have to have him come out here and tell some stories.
And what's fun is also he's old friends with one of the DJs I worked with, Eric Raines, who is at KOKE now, Coke. Yeah.
So,
Old buds, small areas.
well, I mean, do you have any stories that you want to tell or anything? I mean, I feel like I'm out of questions. I feel like there's so much more to talk about. But I'm just
I know driving home, I'll go, oh, shoot, man, well, let's play another song, man.
Yeah,
What do you want to do?
I mean, we can let me plug some dates real quick, and then the Red Dirt Ramblers with Justin Bravo and Jon Schappell, they're going to be at Miller's Smokehouse on August the 3rd, which is a Saturday in Belton, Texas. Great food, great little barbecue joint. If it's a Saturday, it's going to be $1 margaritas, right?
Right.
Lord.
Don't forget myself and Stormy on Friday at Shot Season College Station.
Okay. Are you guys doing a song
That's me and
swap?
Stormy, song swap, right?
All right. Friday on August the 2nd at Shotzi's in College Station, Stormy Lee. And Dead Fish, Friday, August the 16th in Belton, Texas. Great venue overlooking the Lake Belton by the dam, especially when the sun goes down over there. It's lovely. And then Saturday, August the 17th at Pootie's Roadhouse in Spicewood, Texas. And that's going to be fun. Yeah. Are you guys going to do full band, or is that going to be an acoustic thing?
I'm not sure what we're going to do on that, man. As the date gets closer, we'll figure it out. Right now, it's just acoustic, I think. What we have in mind. I think me, John, and Reed, something like that. But
all right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out again, and
I don't know.
This will be the closing song of the podcast. Unless you guys want to talk about some other stuff.
You want to do Late Night Queen?
Let's do that.
Alrighty. Once again, this is Central Texas Music Experience Podcast. You can find us at podbean.com, Central Texas Music Experience at podbean.com. We'll be posting this one on iTunes tonight, and you can look for this episode on YouTube as well. So, Justin, John, go ahead and take it away.
It's one of our original tunes. Time she walks in a room, she always feels my same. I try to find the feelings, yeah, the feeling is the best of me. I know it's only for the night, but I'm a fool for the late night flings. I might take her on tonight, tomorrow won't be the same. She got a sweet country twang, hearts like it ain't no thing. I can't help but call her name when the nights get lonely and I need a friend. The day will come to make a choice and call it all quits and keep on this course. She could be the girl of my dreams. She's a late night queen. Bill, when you heard this song, well, you thought it was about you. It might be news right now, but there's 1,000 girls like you. But when I got home and you were on the same song went through my mind, I guess another late night queen just wasn't that hard to find. She got a sweet country twang, sides like it ain't no thing. I can't help but call her name when the nights get lonely and I need a friend. The day will come to make a choice, call it all quits and keep on this course. She could be the girl of my dreams. She's a late night queen. Late night queen. Like it ain't no thing. I can't help but call her name when the nights get lonely and I need a friend. The day will come to make a choice, call it all quits and keep on this course. She could be the girl of my dreams. She's a late night queen. Late night queen.
Hey, thank you once again for coming out. This is Central Texas Music Experience, and I want to thank Jon Schappell for taking time out of his busy life and day to come out here and support. And you're a very talented musician. And Justin, thanks for coming out. And catch us at iTunes. Central Texas Music Experience will be on iTunes tonight, and the YouTube video will be posted, I believe, tomorrow. And you can catch us at Central Texas Music Experience .podbean.com. Check us out on Facebook. And that's a wrap. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
All right. We'll see you guys later.